Now, in the UK, the inquiry into the contaminated blood scandal of the 1970s and 1980s has been hearing from Lord Clarke, Kenneth Clarke, who was one of the health ministers at the time. Around 3,000 people are thought to have died after being given blood treatment containing HIV and hepatitis C. Lord Clarke told the inquiry he was not responsible for blood products, and the issue hardly ever crossed his desk, as he was dealing with closing Victorian asylums and old geriatric hospitals. Our health correspondent Jim Reid explains.
JJ at 3 days old on video. 4 days old.
Jason Evans is 31 years old. His father was the same age when he died after being given an NHS treatment he was told would transform his life.
There are very few home videos I have where he is actually on camera, especially because, you know, he was aware that he'd lost a lot of weight, you know, what AIDS does to the body.
Thousands more haemophiliacs were infected with HIV and hepatitis after being treated with contaminated blood products. Their relatives have been looking for answers ever since.
When you've grown up dealing with the questions of how did it happen, why did it happen, who is responsible, why hasn't anyone been held to account or to blame? And one of those people that I personally feel is to blame is Ken Clarke.
Ken Clarke, now Lord Clarke, was the senior minister responsible for the health service in the early 80s, just as the AIDS virus emerged. 40 years on, he took the stand at the public inquiry into what's been called the worst medical disaster in NHS history.
Blood products was something that hardly ever came across my desk. I mean, obviously, as the tragedy with the haemophiliacs began to develop, I was aware it was there, and as you know, I'd from time to time, usually at my own instigation, got on the edge of it. But I didn't call meetings on. I was never the minister directly responsible for blood products.
In what was a combative appearance, Lord Clarke appeared to become repeatedly frustrated at the level of detail he was asked.
Well, I gather you're doing that. Every policy decision I've ever been involved in has involved some discussion and exchange of views.
Jason watched the evidence in person today. He said it was a significant step, the first senior minister at the time to give evidence under oath.
What I think most of us regard as the obvious truth is that there was a lot that could and should have been done differently. And the question, I suppose, is will he accept that?
Decades ago, thousands like Jason's father were infected by an NHS treatment. It will take many more months, if not years, for those families to piece together the events that led to that disaster. Jim Reid, BBC News.